This is the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. Earning your living executing trades from the comfort of your home seems a lot more cool than most 9 to 5 gigs. Trouble is, if you don't know what you're doing, you can wreck your portfolio. But with our trading instructors, BK, Soto, and Mitchell, you'll learn how to day trade the futures market. Streaming daily, 9 to 11 a.m. Free. This is a free trading education channel. The Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge, where everybody is welcome. Get in the chat, ask us questions, learn. And now your instructors. This is BK, Soto, and Mitchell.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Tuesday, September 17th. We had a good day yesterday. It was a fun day anyway. Maybe point-wise we didn't do so great, but it was a good day. A lot of explanation, so hope you enjoyed that from yesterday. But I just wanted to shout out and say everybody, thank you again for checking us out and supporting the channel. As far as subscribing, we really appreciate that. But Soto, you there this morning?
I am. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to load up the YouTube here. I'm in the trade right now, actually. But I'll let you do the intro and I don't want to. I'm trying to not jump ahead of you, so go ahead and do the intro, and whenever you're ready, I'll let you know.
You're actually in a trade now, right? You're in that zone trade? Yeah, okay.
I'm writing that right now. I'm trailing it.
You trailing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you get in? Because I had that zone marked up on the chart already. I just didn't get into it because I was starting the channel. But
right.
Where'd you get in at?
I jumped in at 2996.75.
Oh, you front run it. Okay.
I did front runner, which now I got to tell you something I just learned from that. From my point of view. Again, I'll let you do the intro. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. All right. Well, you're in a trade, which is good, so you should be up a couple points anyway, huh?
Yep. And I just moved my trade, my stop, and I locked in 2.5 points, and
nice.
I'm now. It just took me back. I didn't want to write it all the way down because again, I'm looking at the big picture for the week.
All right.
So I wanted to get in. I got 3.5 points, right?
Good.
From my 1 point I locked in, and then I just locked in 2.5 points. I wanted to lock in just because two things. First, in the week, I want to be sure I'm up for the week before I start, taking, those higher, let it run for a longer time. Mm-hmm. And number two, if you look at the bottom of the 840 wick candle there's some support, so I figure we're going to get some resistance from that, and at this time I just wanted to lock in my points for now. So today I'm up already 3 points.
Good job, man.
Points, and so now I can truly run it, let it run, take that, be willing to leave some points on the table for a higher return, right? So
good. Yeah, that's good. Very nice.
Anyway,
that's a good explanation of what you're doing there, why you're doing it. That's good. That's very, very good. All right. Well, good. So you nailed 3 points this morning so far. That's great. So we'll kind of get in. Paul, good morning, Paul. I see you chimed in, so that's good. But kind of let me just run through this real quick here. I went ahead and pulled off the disclaimers. I'll throw them back up there real fast. But guys, remember, this is for educational purposes only. Nothing we do here is a trade recommendation, okay? So need you guys to understand that. Any trade you take will be on your own decisions to do so and has nothing to do with us. We would not be held accountable for any of those losses, okay? But trading is risky. You can take substantial losses, so be careful when you're trading, all right? So that's a quick disclaimer. So good there. All right. Excuse me. But as far as the channel goes, we really appreciate y'all being here. This is, again, Titan Futures, a 1 point a day challenge channel. So I hope you can take some time to check it out and watch some of the videos there that we've had. This is day 18 of the challenge, and what we like to do is kind of keep our wins and losses public. That way you guys can see everything we're doing and the account grow. as doing our 1 point a day challenge and how that will happen. So if you'd like to follow us, we sure do appreciate it. This channel is going to be, it's a free educational trading channel, guys. So, everything we're not going to charge you for anything we do here. We don't do that. We do have one product for sale, and that's only if you want to do that. It's called the Auto Trader. You can find more information about that in the description there. There's a video, of the results so far, what it's doing, and then there's also an opportunity for you to go find it and buy it if you're interested in that. But for right now, that's the only product we really offer. So, and that's completely up to you. But as far as the channel goes, we want you to be positive, respectful. We want this to be a stress-free environment to learn. There's no stupid questions. So if you've never traded before, please chime in on the chat, ask questions. We would love to talk and interact with you. Okay. There'll be 3 of us here. Myself, Soto, and Mitchell, and they kind of give you a little bit different perspective than what I have. I've been doing this for 20 years, and they've been doing it for less than that. But they're fairly new, but they've learned the method very well, so they've earned that title of instructor, kind of speak. So you'll hear us talking a lot. So please ask questions. Please ask questions. But if you like that, just please subscribe to the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you here every day. We do this Monday through Friday, as long as we don't have any technical difficulties. But we'll get this done Monday through Friday for you. Okay, but you can read the rest of the description. That's just a quick kind of overview. But read this rest of the description in the below the video there, and can learn a little bit more about us. All right. Let's see. Well, I think that's it. So we can kind of get back into trading here. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Mitchell will be joining us a little bit later, I believe. But Soto's already made 3 points for today, which is great, and he got into a really nice trade. And Soto, what I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, so you're out of the trade at this point? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm out.
So right. Kind of walk us through why you took that trade. I've got the zone on the chart drawn up already. But kind of talk us through that, please.
Sure. And by the way, I netted 3.25, not 3.5, so 3.25.
Nice, very nice. Okay.
So, which I'm very happy about.
Absolutely, good job.
Let me see. I'm trying to pull up your YouTube here. Sorry. All right. So you have. Okay. It looks like you drew the 8:30 candle. I just used the. It doesn't really matter, but I used. I used the 8:25 candle, right? So same thing. So I was going to run it, right? This is. I was getting everything set up. Everything kind of gets kind of slow going, and I saw the price was down. I think around 8:45. That's when I kind of got going here. So I drew the zone, and then I saw the 8:50 candle. And I liked it. I said, all right, I'm going to front run this, right? So at that point, I felt good about front running it. Now, after the 8:55 candle, or the 8:55 candle, I got touched, but I didn't get picked up. And I think this is a lesson I learned here. And tell me, you've done this way. Literally, you've done this more than probably years I've been alive, so that's crazy.
I'm not that old, man. Come on. I thought
that. But I saw that, you see that nice rejection wick, the inverted hammer, I guess you can call it, the 855 candle?
Yep.
So that should have, I think, told me is like, look, I missed the front running scenario here. I need to go a little deeper into the zone. It's going to be respected. It hasn't been triggered, but I think I missed the opportunity for the front running part. Now this is after the fact. I'm looking at this, so I don't know if this is a good indicator for that. This is just me thinking out loud. So, because I did jump in, I didn't move my entry. I kept it at 96.75, and so the following candle I got picked up, and I took. That's exactly when you just called me, and we were getting on, and I know that you need to go over the intro and all that, the legal stuff. So I didn't want to say too much, to mess that up, but I took 70.75. 360 feet, And I still felt good about it, so I was like not going to cancel out of the I haven't canceled out of any trades. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. If I'm going to win, I'm going to win. So, because I got the 1 point stop, so I'm not, to me, I'm not going to take, 3 ticks of heat and get out, I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm good with the trade, But I think I've learned that based on that candle from the 855, I should have moved my trade in maybe around, and honestly, I probably would have missed the trade because I would have gone probably right at 97.5. Because if you look back, there's just so many opening closes at that price. And another good price would have been at point 97.25. But I stayed in at the 96.75 from running it, took 3 ticks of heat. And then on the next candle, as you saw, it went up and then it shot down all the way down. So I got locked in my point right at 95.75, and then I got to trail it. And now typically, I know we talked about trailing to lock in, typically you would lock in your point after a pivot, you let it ride, you will lock in 1 tick, so if you lose, you break even. But in this case, there's a couple things is I didn't think it was necessarily going to run, 10 points my way. And number two, it was hitting some resistance at 840, support at 840. And number three is I want to be up for the week. I want to be, I want to meet my goal before I start taking, leaving some potential points on the table. Like, we've mentioned before, you have to be willing to leave 2-3 points on the table in order to get those 8-9 point runs, right? So, which is, I agree, except that I think early on, I want to lock in those, even if it's just 2-3 points, because I want to meet my goal. Then I'm willing to leave some money on the table if I need to. And so I locked it in at 94.5 and then ticked back in because the price went all the way down to 94 flat, and then it ticked me back in at 94.5. And so that's when I was out of my trade. So that's when I got 3.25 points.
Yeah, good job, man. Yeah, that's great explanations. I like all the reasonings there. We couldn't, the one I would have actually done the same thing you did this morning as far as locking in points, because that and the only reason is, excuse me, the only reason is at this time in the morning at 9:12 without any kind of news catalyst, you're not going to get big runs, so. Anytime you're going to get into a trade like that this early in the morning, as you're going to be bumping into the resistance, you're better off to definitely lock in points quicker because you're just not going to get that big running move, Right. So it was a good job there. You did great there, and I actually glad you've picked up the fact that when it comes to front running, you were exactly 100% on where you should have moved your position deeper, all because of that 855 rejection.
Okay.
That tells you right there for the fact that there's definitely rejection there. It touched you and it bounced out of there, so that took the front running out of the picture at that point. We should have gone deep. We knew that's an indication for us that price is going to go deeper into the zone, and we just have to figure out a deeper position. I think a good position still would have been right at 97 even because of all the rejection wicks at from 6 a.m. to about 6:40 or 6:30. Yeah. A lot of those rejection wicks right there is kind of a wall, so I figured price would have got into that area, maybe one ticked into that and then drop. So I thought even 97 would be that's where I would have gone in if I missed the front runner there. But very good job, man. Yeah, very very nice. And I like the fact that you're talking about getting up early. We've discussed that quite a bit, and I like the fact that you had that mentality today. That you can. Let runners run today. When trades present themselves, you can actually sit there and give yourself the opportunity, like you said, to let the positions run if it presents itself, and leave a couple points on the table to get your position, to get your runner. Because you're up at night, you're already up nice. So, very good job, man. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you confirmed. Like you said, you can't. I guess if you told me this before, you can't teach us everything until it shows up. You know, it's a
That's
lot
right.
of, you know, if you try to cover everything, you know, it's like impossible. Like, okay, you know, but like you said, when a scenario comes up, that's a great teaching opportunity, which is also why it's great to watch this YouTube videos and you know, and because when something comes up, it's a great opportunity to learn something that we would have never brought up before, right?
Right.
So thank you for
Right.
confirming.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, something I didn't think about, and the reason I didn't think about it was because the volume. Look at the volume increase compared to previous volume on that candle I was trailing. I really actually potentially thought it could break through it because the volume went, you know, it doubled the previous
Right.
volume. So I was like, oh, this could potentially go through it, but at the same time, like we just talked about, I didn't even think about the, you know, having a strong enough volume to, you know, like you said, the big boys to do a real move. But again, I just wanted to lock in my point. So
Yeah, you
glad,
did great.
yeah, glad we got some points this morning. So
Yeah, man, good job. Very good job.
thank
So
you.
now you got, um, now you can relax and get there and look. You can be a little more aggressive actually if you choose to, but you can definitely try to hold on for that big winner. So at this point,
Yeah.
and not fret over a couple points, not locking in a couple points in that move. You know, 'cause I know that's a source of tension. You know, when you're in a position and you're trying to make points for the day and you're trying to catch this runner and you got 2 or 3 points. Um, you got 2 or 3 points that are you're in profit, but you can't lock anything in. Only thing you're locking in is one tick. Well, that's tough to watch that, you know.
Yeah.
But now you can do that, and you'll be able. I think you're going to find yourself a lot more relaxed today when you see that opportunity because you're already in a positive 3+ points. So I think you'll feel a different emotion there.
I think
So
you're right. Yeah.
which is good. So. All right, well, excellent. Well, good job, man. We're just hanging out now until market opens, but we'll look for other position and opportunities. But right now, we can definitely be patient and just kind of walk our way through it. So,
I'm switching the. I have that sun drone, so I'm switching it to a blue. I use a different color when it's triggered, right?
yeah,
Just for my sake, so I'm changing that. I haven't even looked at other other zones. Do we got anything else here?
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I think we got zones up top here. On the downside here, we've got a zone that's already pushed through, based on your big candle. So for that demand zone, it's already been pushed through. Um, I'll say you could definitely draw a zone. Um, yeah, I'd start off with the smallest zone first. I could draw a zone in the 8 o'clock candle. Let's apply. And kind of watch that. There's a lot going on up there.
so let me ask you. You said 8 o'clock candle. Now, obviously, if it's your move out of an area, it doesn't break the previous swing low until when it gets like, you know, see how it comes into a sideways market,
Yep.
and then at 8:30, which is the candle you actually used, which is probably the better candle. Um, um, that's really the one that breaks the previous swing low.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the people watching, and actually myself included, because I was gonna mark that up. I was gonna mark up the 8 o'clock. Why use that? Is that just a hidden zone?
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
it's a hidden zone. I mean it's what it is, but it's also it does push, even though it doesn't break the low down here of the 7 o'clock move. You know,
okay.
I mean that's a big move, right? I mean that's a big morning move, and it pushed. I mean look, the very next two candles out of that 8 o'clock zone, 8:05 and 8:10, are big move candles, right? So
Right.
the only way that can move is there's just a lot of push out of there for some reason or other. So that just tells you either up in this area somewhere, there is some selling going on, some pretty strong sellers up there. So I think it makes a good hidden zone.
Uh-huh.
It actually bumps up into another hidden zone up higher at the 750, but um, I would just look for a quick bounce out of this not out of this 8 o'clock first, just because if you look to the left, there's a lot of sideways action right there. So I would watch that. Not saying I'm going to take it. I'm just telling you that's a zone to draw up and watch. You
Gotcha.
know. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, we just got volume. Sorry. Well, and price action just broke that. Just broke our last zone there, and it's actually headed towards your 8 o'clock candle there.
yeah, it might come out of it or it might not. So I'm gonna let you take this one, Paul. Paul's asking, can I explain what a hidden zone is? So I think you got a good handle on it, and I think you're actually making a video on that.
Uh-huh.
So I'd like you to kind of throw that out there and tell him what that is, if you don't care.
Sure. Yeah. I haven't started on the video yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna hopefully do that today. I think. Let me see if I can explain it without. I like to usually write down my thoughts before I just start talking. Um, but let's see. When you have a move, right? Let's say a bull move. Oh, actually, let's use this example here since we got one. You got this bear move that starts at the 745 wick high, and then you got it all the way coming down to 810, and actually takes a little break, and then it goes down, to the 840 candle. So you got the strong move down. During this move, if you start seeing at the very beginning of the move, you start seeing a hesitation where price is engulfed, or sorry, a price action candle is meets the requirements of the body's 50% and less than the candle and everything. You got a strong push out, but it's engulfed by the previous or the post candle. Then we will call that a hidden zone. And we could be a doji, it could be in this case it's 50-50 doji, it could be a hammer candle, but it meets that requirement for the candle to qualify, and it's engulfed by the previous or post candle, which in this case is engulfed by the 805 candle, and so price kind of backs back into the high of or at least to the high of the previous candle, which is the 8 o'clock candle, and that makes it a hidden zone. Is that clear? Did I miss anything? Did I explain wrong?
No, you did good. Yeah, you did good. And so I'll just circle for a visual standpoint. I'll circle what you just explained there. I'll circle some of these up. So like this right here, that's a hidden zone. That's what he was referring to. There's a hidden zone. You'll see there's a lot of hidden zones on here once you start picking them out and seeing them. There's a hidden zone. Let me see here. There's two hidden zones. Oh, wrong one. Wrong thing, man. My bad. Let me do it different here. There's two hidden zones there. See? These are engulfed candles is basically what they are. Okay, they're called engulfed candles. This is a hidden zone here. And this is a hidden zone. So you'll start to see there's quite a few hidden zones when you really start looking at the definition of it. They're all basically engulfed candles, either on one side or the other. But what we have to do out of those candles, those are just the zones, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be respected, right? Because here's one right here that it wasn't respected. So, but it is a hidden zone. So we have to start watching those and looking at those. But they're basically inside bars and outside bars, is what they're called. Engulfing candles, and there's a bearish engulfing candle and a bullish engulfing candle. So whenever time you see one of those happen, most likely what that means is, well, it has to be, quite honestly, by definition, the previous candle has to be a hidden zone. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, these big bullish, right? Like right here at 8745, that's a bullish engulfing candle, because as pure definition, the very next candle, 750, was the high was taken out and the low was taken out by the previous candle. Okay, and it's the same way for each candle here. So those are called hidden zones. And what we like to do is see when we find a hidden zone, we want to see a good push out of those, and we want to see that they meet criteria. Sometimes they don't have to meet the 50% rule criteria for the body of the candle, but they have to show that there was hesitation and a good move immediately out of that zone. So for this example here, at 735, this is a bullish engulfing candle. I mean, this hidden zone there was actually engulfed by this bullish candle here at 730, What you see, even though the 740 or 735 does not meet the 50% or less of the body of the candle, if you'll look to the left here, all this area with all this price actions going on right here, all to the left here, starting at 6 o'clock all the way into 6:55, but that's just sideways action. So we know that there's a lot of orders and accumulation going on right there. And as we see that the 655 breaks to the short side, that would give me bias on this candle here at 735. This hidden zone candle would be, I'd have a short bias back into that candle. And as you can see, it happens perfectly right here at 625 or at 825. This candle here, okay, went into that area of that engulfing. That hidden zone candle, and I'll draw a little rectangle so you can see that. And you can see we move right into that area of a hidden zone right there based off, and it is valuable. The reason it's valuable here is because of all the price action at 6 o'clock to 6:55. Just nothing but sideways action there, okay? And because of that, that tells me that this hidden zone right there shot to the upside, but there's a lot of action right there. So once we broke through that hidden zone at 810 and we crushed through that, we would look for that now to become an area of supply, and which it actually proved out to be just that. Okay, so there's a little bit more going on in the hidden zones, a little bit more around learning why they are what they are and how they work. But as you watch this, just the first thing you need to get to notice is it's just an engulfed candle. Okay, so for this example right here, I mean, this is an engulfed candle at 9:25. It just happened, right? That's an engulfed candle. So that is actually a hidden zone at the moment. Whether it's one that we'll use to trade off of, that's another story. But that right now, that is an engulfed candle, a hidden zone. So we'll kind of watch and see how that plays out. I think that could become an area of entry, one way or the other, depending on how price wants to go first and when it wants to break out of this zone, either to the upside or to the downside. It's not going to matter. I think that's going to come back into play at some point here this morning as being an area of entry, because of all the price action to the left of that candle. Okay, all this price action to the left of this candle here, it tells you something, you know. So from here over, all this that I'm drawing this line through right here should tell you, that tells you something, that this candle is still showing a lot of indecision right here. Okay, there's still a lot of strength, a lot of buyers and sellers right there. So if we can break out of this zone, break out of this area right here, this is going to become a hidden zone that will cause bounces later on during the day. Okay, so let me remove that. So for right now, just to get to learn and kind of get used to spotting these hidden zones, just kind of put a visual on it and know it's there, and then kind of watch to see how price reacts around those. And I think you'll start to catch it and see why we call them hidden zones and why they tend to give us good price action out of those. So I hope that helps, Paul. Let me know if it's not explained very well, or you'd like to learn something else, or ask it, or I didn't quite explain it or you have another question about it, please put it in there. Let me know, and then we'll answer that as well. And but this is definitely something to just kind of watch for today, and you'll see us drawing them up, and then that's why we've drawn them up. Okay, based on that explanation. Because this is a good one up here at top. I'll just do another arrow here, and then what we need to start doing is looking for price action. See all this price action right here I'm drawing through out of this hidden zone. Okay, I expect price to get back in here and at least bounce a little bit, and might push through eventually, but I think it would at least bounce a little bit because of all that price action to the left there. So just kind of get used to seeing that. Okay, well, good. Yeah, man, please ask questions. Any chance you can get, man, ask questions. That way it's going to, because every question you ask is going to help other people as they eventually find the channel, so, and are listening and watching. So ask all the questions you can, and we would love to be able to explain as much as we can. So, all right. And if you have any questions about anything else, if you have any questions about indicators, we can talk about indicators. We can talk about it. I'll even put some on the chart to kind of say why I don't like them, but we'll do anything for you to kind of get you to understand why we don't use something, or why we think it's probably not the best for our method. So don't anybody that wants to know that, please ask questions.
Right. So I was very tempted to trade where you were talking to, and I didn't, and I wasn't going to, but I was tempted to trade at the 97.5 to go long.
Uh-huh.
But if you recall, you told us, because it broke our previous sum, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was gonna flip it over. The word, you like to use that word, flip over.
I do.
But I didn't because what is one of the things you said is you like to see price move out of that area, then come back to it, right? And it didn't really do that. It closed out of that area, but it came right back, and then never really took off. So
Yeah.
and unless I would have been in, I don't know if actually I would have gotten the point. No, I don't know if I would have gotten, had I traded, I don't know if I would have gotten the point.
Sure.
And maybe would have, but again, it would have been a high risk. So,
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I like your explanation of why you didn't take it. I mean, for
right.
me, yeah, I would flip a zone, but this is not ready to flip in my opinion. For the fact that yeah, it had a big push out of there, but since we're still kind of in sideways action overall, all that pushes out of there is just grabbing stops, or not really making a real direction. I would expect at this point with this candle right here, it's going to be a big push. It's where we're at the open. I expect just off of what I'm seeing right here, if this candle right here closes positive, I think we're going to push high and push out of this zone. Just because of the wick, it's a bullish engulfing candle. I think it will all depend on how this candle closes here. But if it closes bullish, I think we're going to push out of this zone to the high side. But yeah, for what you were saying, it's just not ready to flip for me because I don't have enough price action saying I've got strength to the upside. I just had one quick push on low volume, and that just to me is a fake out breakout kind of a push, and it wasn't strong enough for me to turn that into a demand zone.
Right.
So good job. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
You walked through that, which was good. I like the way you thought through the process there. So I'm glad you did that. You did well.
Good. Yeah, thank you. So now, again, will you trade if it goes up, which I don't know if it will, but if it goes up to your area here, will you trade out of your zone? Do you feel that confident with your zone, or are you you'd rather wait right now?
No, I'm gonna wait right now for sure. Especially depending on how this candle closes right here, because if this candle closes bullish, this is a big move up, coming, our strong move up coming, and it will blow right through that hidden zone, I think.
Okay.
So I mean, it all depends on this candle right here, for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. I have to get something real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep, sure. All right, guys, but thank you very much if you're just now joining us for the first time. Thank you for checking us out. I really do appreciate that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to give you notification that when we go live. But I just want to tell you thank you very much, and couldn't do this without you guys. We want this to be a very strong, good channel, of a learning and education channel, and we want to really be something you guys can kind of bounce your questions off of, your ideas, and kind of talk through the markets together. It's like we said yesterday, if you watch a live stream, a very big important part of being successful at trading is doing it with other people. Trading with other people, because of the fact that, especially if you're all with kind of the same mindset of what you're looking for, it's just like anything else. You got more eyes on the prize, so to speak, and that'll give better confidence, and when everybody's looking and agreeing at the same thing, it's just kind of a confluence of thought there, and that's very important when it comes to trading. So subscribe, like us, and join us each day if you can, and hopefully you guys get some value out of what we're doing here. But thanks again for joining us. See here. Let me check one thing. not really anything to. Excuse me, not really anything news-wise to. Got a little bit of news, came out, but nothing really that's gonna set us off this morning.
By the way, Mitchell's ready.
All right, yeah, I'll bring him in.
All right.
All right, let me go grab Mitchell there.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
All right, there he is.
I'm in one of those moods today. I think we're going to get crazy points today.
I hear you. Well, we're both behind on Soto there, so Soto's already got three something point, 3.25 points.
He's already got he ran on the 920.
No, he ran on the 9 o'clock out of the zone there to the downside.
Well, good job, Soto.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Thank you.
You eating your Nutella?
No, not yet. No, that's good.
You're being awfully quiet. I'm worried about you.
Oh, I'm away from the computer right now, so I'll be right back.
He's got to run to the other side of his house real quick.
Yeah.
I was about to say that. I was like, I have to go so far away that I can't. I can still hear you. I just don't want to be screaming across, rooms. So.
You got to run into your study.
Yeah, I got to go up to my library. Yeah, upstairs. Mm-hmm. That's right. I'll be right back.
Not a lot of the opening candle didn't do much this morning, did it?
No, I just kind of sat there sideways. Just kind of sat there, and at 9:35 usually always pushes pretty good though.
Let's see. So you were saying yesterday, basically, if you have two contracts, there's no downside to leaving your two position order in, correct?
No downside for when it moves one tick in profit.
Like if you were to always trail,
yeah,
use your trailing strategy on every trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's what you if you get a point out. The only downside is you got to make sure you're able to trade two contracts, because if you take a straight loss, then you've lost 2 points. It's not just 1 point; it's 2 points. So that's the downside. But once you get your first profit target hit, then your second position automatically goes into +1. So no matter what happens, you're going to win. You're not going to lose.
But now if it takes you out, you lose 2.
Yeah, straight from the get-go. Yeah, if you get into a position and it goes immediately against you 1 full point for a stop loss, then it's only 1 point, but it's 2 contracts, so it's the 2 points, right?
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. It is. So when you are trading two contracts, it's all the same. You just only have benefits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to go Alex Soto, and I talked about that for 30, 45 minutes the other day.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, he was thinking that maybe. He was thinking that maybe you had to get 6 ticks in order to get the point.
No, your first position is always going to come out at 4 ticks or 5 ticks, for your normal point, like normal. Then your first position gets a full 1 point, but your second position will move into +1 tick. So you're guaranteed a point and a tick, between the 2 points. Between the one position. you're guaranteed 1 full point on one position, but your second position is only going to get a tick. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So,
That makes perfect sense.
yeah. So that's the reason we always lock off. And we're keeping the account small because of this 1 point a day challenge, and we're going to grow the account together. I mean, my other trades are with a lot bigger contract size that I do on my swing trade and my auto trader. But for this example, we're just going to, during the day trade here, we're using small account size. So we're going to grow this just like we teach you to grow, right? So eventually you're going to have 3 contracts, 4 contracts, 5 contracts. And what we'll do, we'll always take out half of our contracts, or at least the way I do it. We always take out half of our contracts at that first point. So it doesn't matter if I'm trading 100 contracts, 50 of my contracts are coming out at 1 point.
That makes perfect sense.
And the other 50 go into a 1 tick of profit. But what I have, even at that, then I have a different ATM strategy where we're using this same example. I took out 50 on the first one, right? So I have 50 left that are into 1 tick. Well, then I have 25 of those that come out, at a certain time later. Then I have the other 25 that run. So I have a three exit strategy when you get into multiple contracts like that.
That's I like that a lot. I mean, we're nowhere near there, but that makes perfect sense because you're not leveraging everything.
Right. You're not. Yeah, very good. And we'll be into that. I'm telling you, we'll be into that by year end. If we just keep doing this 1 point like we're doing and making it and growing it, you'll be into that by year end. So,
that'd be awesome.
But not this year, but I mean, I'm saying by middle of next year.
1 year.
All right, I'm back. Just like us now.
All right, you're back. All right, thanks for letting us know that. All right, so we can remove that now.
I'm surprised you don't have like a harness that you wear with your computer set up where you can take it everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I could but I have this huge screen monitor.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot your setup. I'm just running off the portable today. One screen, pretty crippled.
I can't do one screen, man. When you get to my level, one screen is not possible.
I find that it really just hones your focus.
So Paul's over there kicking our butt, man. He's only on one screen, I think. So he's
tearing it up.
He's probably could say, guys, I only got one screen.
Okay.
Paul's running it off his cell phone while at work, and he's doing 3 to 1 what we're doing.
Classic.
My buddy is watching us right now.
Oh, is he?
And he's lecturing me about how I sound echoey.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
And he says that it's a volume issue and I need to get a headset.
Oh, okay.
I think I have
it's
the problem.
Say what?
I also have the same problem. I sound because when I go back and listen to the tape, both Mitch and I sound with echo, so it's both of us, Mitch. It's not just you.
Well, I'm getting hooked up with a headset, it looks like. He said, I'll bring you one.
I don't even know what a headset is. What is that?
So
what is this thing you speak of?
It is like basically like headphones with a microphone on it, and you speak into a headset.
Oh, they make those already? Wow. Okay. That's fancy right there. I didn't fancy.
Shut up. I know you studied abroad for a little while here recently, but you weren't gone that long.
In America, you guys have very nice equipment.
Oh gosh, that just made me laugh. Thinking about my dad saying you do that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he told you the story when he met my wife and when your dad and Risotto met my wife for the first time, huh?
No, he has not.
Oh.
He has not told you that?
Yeah.
Your dad,
I feel like he's saving up all this stuff so when he gets back, he is just like the most interesting person for the next 7 years because he's been pretty tight-lipped.
Your dad is fluent. I don't know if you knew this. He's fluent in Arabic. Now, let me translate. Let me say that better, rather. He's fluent in understanding Arabic. He does not speak it, but he can understand it and translate it into English. And this is a true story. This is 100% true. I spoke fake Arabic, by the way, because I did not speak Arabic, and I pretended to be Arabic, meeting BK's wife, and I spoke no English, right? And your dad was the translator between me and wife.
I'm surprised your dad kept it together, but he did it, man.
Your dad was a pro. Your dad did not smile at all.
That's awesome.
It was. Oh, it was pretty good.
That's awesome.
And of course, when I met BK's wife, by the way, very sweet, awesome. But I was a little offended at first because she assumed when I said I didn't speak English that I spoke Spanish. She was like, oh, hola. And I was like, whoa, I'm Arabic, bro. Speak Arabic, but I'm not fake Arabic, okay? You're supposed to get that.
It was a funny situation. I guess you had to be there, but it was funny.
Yeah, no, that's good. I just can't believe my dad did that.
Yeah, we couldn't either, but he did great. Oh, that was awesome. I totally expected him to blow it, but he didn't, man. He kept it together.
Yeah. It was definitely a SNL skit, for sure.
That's good. The only thing that he did say that I told Soto the other day is when I met Soto kept being like, English is my second language. I was like, Dad, I don't understand. This guy he types very good English, and he keeps saying, sorry, English is my second language. And he was like, yeah, he pretends to be Spanish when it benefits him.
Exactly. That's the key word, when it benefits him.
And it made me laugh. He did tell a few stories, but then hearing Soto talk about it made me laugh.
Yeah.
Well, I told him that, there's scenarios where I got treated better when I was Hispanic, right?
Right.
I told him that when I figured that out, I forgot English.
Sure, absolutely. And you weren't Costa Rican either.
Yeah. That actually happened to one of my friends. This doctor, he's an older guy, but he had a beard, thankfully. And he was in Pakistan, Afghanistan. I think he was in Afghanistan. And,
was he in war?
No. He's I don't know why he was there. But no, he was just a doctor, and he's the whitest guy ever. He's from Coleman, Alabama. And thankfully, he had a beard, right? So he's in the back of this taxi or this car. And there's, you guys remember that pastor in Florida that was going to burn the Qurans and all that? So this is when he was over there. So they started to riot the streets in Afghanistan or Pakistan, I forgot which country he was in. And they're literally turning cars over, burning stuff, burning the U.S. flag. And this is he's the only white guy there. So they're starting to approach his car. And so he totally leans back, on the seat, closes his eyes, and pretends to sleep. He's just an Arabic sleep, right? So they approach the car and they start talking. He just kind of looks at them and doesn't speak, but he tells them to go away, go away, with his hands. And if it wasn't for his beard, he would have not been with us today. So
That's crazy. I would be dead.
Yeah. That's what I would have been. I would have been like.
I got turned down the other day trying to buy a beer. I'm 30 years old, and the man was like, "I need to see your ID," and I showed it to him, and he was like, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't accept this." And I said, "That is my state-issued ID, and it is a legitimate driver. I mean, it's a driver's license." And he was like, "I just don't feel comfortable about it. You came in here on your cell phone. That is a video recording device, and I'm not going to sell you this."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Oh, my word." And so, nevertheless, I had to go away. I was like, well, that's awful. But yeah, I'm straight baby-faced. It's a curse.
Where were you?
At the Cowboys gas station in Hartselle.
Oh, okay.
I'll call that out. But no, it was. I mean, he was doing his job. I don't want him to get in trouble. Like, I thought about being upset about it, but then I was like, maybe there are people that would do that, and he could lose his job. So I understand it. It was just in the moment highly annoying.
Sure.
But it could have been a sign. I ended up not buying any. So look at there.
There you go.
There was a positive.
Yeah,
I drove away and I was like, well, that's one way. Get me annoyed and I don't even want anything. I just want to go home.
Well, Soto, that zone that we were talking about flipping sure is causing some support there, isn't it?
Sure, yeah, it's looking really good. Both actually, your zone and the flip zone there.
And that was really just the flip zones one I'm referring to. That's the one that's causing a lot of support there.
Yeah. And of course, now it's too late to use, but.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it at this point, but. Yeah.
That's good, yeah. Everything now breaking through. We got some movement out of here.
Yeah, we definitely got to get some movement out of here before we get to trades.
So here we have, tell me if this qualifies based on the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago. You see the big, the 945 candle and the 950. Would that qualify since the 950 is engulfed by the 945 candle?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we expect a bull move eventually out of this area here, right?
Oh, no, my bad. No. I was thinking of a different conversation. No, we don't know what's going to happen. What we would see there is.
I'm already trading. Oh, man. Okay.
That's all right. You're all right then. Just hold on to it.
You're good, man. It went down there and picked up some uncapped money. You're good.
So, go ahead, please.
I actually thought about taking a trade at 999.75. Kind of like you just did.
Oh, okay. I was joking. Stop. Wait, what?
I'm kidding.
Okay, good. All right, just want to be sure. I always joke about taking a trade until I take a trade.
No, it would have to be straight disrespected anybody that took a trade.
No, the scenario now that you're talking about, Soto, would be actually happening right now.
Right.
9:50 and 10 o'clock. If 10 o'clock closes down low like this and engulfs that candle, then I would say we got price moving down to the downside.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah, so we just needed to close, though. We needed to close. The body needs to close below the 950 body.
Okay, so it's the close.
And how can you tell if it's going to go long or short?
Because I think it will. If the body closes down here low.
Oh, I see what you're saying because it's pushing all the way down. Yeah, that was a dump.
And it's engulfing the 950 immediately. And based on order flow, if like the 950 order flow candle, if you have push into the upside, but now you had a lot of orders going to the upside, and then at 10 o'clock candle here, or this 955 candle, If it were to turn around and totally go the opposite way and engulf it to the downside, that should tell you, oh, there's something wrong here. We had a bunch of orders going long, but they just got eaten up to go short. So that should tell you that direction's probably going to change. I don't like it here now because of the way it closed. We don't know what's going to happen. So we just have to be patient now because of that fact that 955 closed halfway up the 950 candle.
Mm-hmm.
Had that closed completely below that, then we would have gone short. We'd have been in a short trade. It would have been a short direction. Not a short trade yet, but so now we have to wait. So we just get a lot of sideways right here. Lots of sideways. What I will do here is get to 60-minute here on this chart. But we're going to get some direction after this candle here, though. I can probably tell you that. I think we'll get some direction. I'm going to just draw some lines for myself here.
What are you doing?
Eating an apple?
Sure, you do eat a lot during this time we have here.
2 hours of his day.
It's just nothing but
Eats
eating.
the whole time.
I have to eat. You know how your brain uses energy, bro.
You need to get some smoothies or something.
Oh, man.
Get us a smoothie.
Just chew put that apple in a blender tomorrow morning. Drink it through a straw.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was too loud. This mic can pick up things, bro.
It sounded like you were grinding pepper, is what it sounded like. But now that I realized that it was your teeth slowly ripping through the flesh of an apple, it's just. Oh gosh, I'm gonna be loud.
Yeah, bro, you gotta get, you gotta stay hydrated. That's the key, and you gotta keep filling the system, to turn that.
Ammo back?
I do not. I've never actually owned one of those things. No.
Hey man, they're pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised as much mountain biking as you do, you don't have a Camelback, man.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, they're cool. I never had one. I just, I'm old school, bro. I'm old school.
They get filthy, but other than that, like on the inside, you have to clean them a pretty good bit.
Yeah, my problem is I used to not be able to drink out of plastic.
That's right, I forgot.
The more I find out about you, the more I paint this picture in my head.
Oh, man. You got a lot more to go, too, buddy.
Oh, man.
He does not do plastic until recently.
Yeah.
You and my wife would get along so well. She doesn't. We don't even own a microwave.
Oh, that's good. That's good. See, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Hates plastic.
Yeah. Man,
Meanwhile, microwave Ziploc bags and eat out of them. So polar opposites.
That's funny.
We had this guy that used to work on our boat. Like he would build these old restore old boats and stuff. He was in his 80s, but he would work on fiberglass all the time, and he never wore a mask. And he came walking out one day, and I mean, he's covered head to toe in fiberglass. And my dad said, "My gosh, you don't wear a mask?" He was like, "No, I had 3 doctors tell me that I wouldn't live another 5 years if I didn't start wearing a mask." You know what the funny thing is? My dad was like, "What?" He said, "I've been to all 3 of their funerals." And I was like, well, so that's kind of like that story with the plastic. But that is hilarious, Soto, that you do not recently have changed your thoughts on plastic.
I did. It was, yeah. So now I can use one-time plastic, and that's what I did for my, my bike. When I go mountain biking, I had a plastic bottle, but it was I knew one every time and throw it away. So like that's okay, one-time use and go. But I just hated to reuse plastic. So now it doesn't matter, but I used to not be able to do that.
Yeah, you've really come back to center, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't even know, man. Oh, yeah, that little boy's made some changes, man. To say the least.
I just care about the planet. That's why I didn't want to use plastic.
There you go.
I do too, but these new cardboard straws that they're using, I do not like them.
Have you used it? I haven't seen anything.
They're terrible. They get all soggy on you real quick. You can't go with you have to get like a smaller medium. You can't get a large sweet tea. It will eat it up.
You gotta drink it quick.
Some good price action today, huh?
What's for me?
Oh man, come on.
Yes, slow. Good conversation. I've enjoyed that, but the trading has been very July-ish.
Well, we're just getting into that 10 o'clock time frame, so I think we'll get some direction out of here pretty quick, though. So I think we'll get some moves happening.
You guys notice the Cleveland Browns, like, always still undefeated in the preseason. Like, they're, like, unbelievable in the preseason. And I think it's because, like, all their players, they're, like, #1 picks for, like, the last 10 years. They're, like, the best backups in the history of, backups. But as soon as they start the regular season, it's downhill from there. But they did win yesterday. They won Monday Night Football against the Jets.
This is really a weird theory, but have you noticed how teams that stack themselves with a ton of #1 picks typically aren't the best teams? I wonder if it's because you have too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. You know what I mean? They don't have the same want that somebody
That's good. Or
like Wes Welker. That's my
amazing. I like it.
He fought. I mean, that's a gritty little dude.
Now, what about this? The teams that have to pick #1 is because they had the worst record prior season.
Right.
So, is it the they just a bad team? That's they happen to have a bunch of #1s, or are they the bad team because they have a lot of #1s?
I think it goes hand in hand. They get in like a cycle of it. And I'm just saying, like, is a #1 pick really better than a few lesser grade picks that have more potential? You know what I mean?
What do you think, BK? You're the athlete here.
And like, what about peaking? Like, does that mean that what if that athlete's peaking? I think that happens a lot with quarterbacks. It's like they have their best games and then just fizzle out.
Well, I think systems. Like I look at systems. What system a quarterback used in college, and does it translate well in the NFL? And then also techniques. Tim Tebow being a great example. I liked him, but he was not an NFL quarterback, and he got screwed up all the way in high school. The high school coach should have helped him, train him to be a more mechanical quarterback instead of benefiting at the time. College and NFL.
Well, I will chime in on that one. I think I disagree with the statement of the fact that he wasn't an NFL quarterback. I think that is because every stat he has is a winning stat. Go look at every stat he did while he was in the NFL. He had better stats than the traditional NFL quarterbacks that have been there for multiple years. He had better stats. He didn't look the part. He didn't drop back in the middle with his hand high above his ear, ready to throw. And that just got under so many people's skin for some stupid reason. They lost the fact that he won games. Okay, he had his statistics, even his completion percentage was better. It's just the fact that he was such a media darling, I think, that somebody picked up the fact that he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback, and people ran with that. The media ran with that, and I think they screwed him on that deal. Because
I agree. He was a competitor, probably one of the strongest competitors to play the game.
There's no doubt he was, and he was a winner. My thing is, if I'm a quarterback, if I'm a coach, I don't care what you tell me, media. I'm winning games with this guy. Okay, this guy is winning games for me. It might not be the 400, 500-yard pass rushing games like a Tom Brady and those guys, but the dude's winning games, man. So why would I listen? And I think coaches and I think managers, general managers, and all that got just hoodooed by the media to thinking that he shouldn't be as a quarterback in the NFL. And I hated that for Tim, but because the guy was a winner. If you go back and look at all of his stats, he's a winner as a quarterback. So how do you argue that? Just because he doesn't look the part? That's the worst argument in the world as far as
he used his legs and they just, they like that, but at the same time, you're exactly right. They want to see those big sailing passes.
Yeah, and I hate that because I'm a Broncos fan because I'm from Colorado and I'm a big Broncos and I'm a John Elway fan, and John Elway's the one that made the call on that, and I wanted to punch John in the face when I heard that. And I'm just like, dude, I love you, John, but that's just a stupid reason to get rid of TiVo, and pull him out. And I think the media is what did it, and I really hate that. But he's always been a media hotspot as far as because he's such a good person all the way around, they just don't like they wanted to create controversy around him. And they always pick certain things, and that's my opinion. And I believe that if you look at everything, I believe that's a lot of the fact. But, I just think that he was a winning quarterback. He just didn't look the part. But,
and then they'll just rally behind like an Andrew Luck or something like that. And that's just, don't get me wrong. I think he's a great guy, and he is an incredible athlete. But, hurt year after year and not putting up the stats he was supposed to, But that's their dude.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's just kind of like, dude, you guys have gotten so lost in how important it is just to win. It doesn't matter if your quarterback throws for 500 yards. It doesn't make any difference after the 60 minutes are up, and it's either a winner or a loser.
Right, that's a lot like the Alabama football program. Recently it's gotten pretty to watch, but historically Alabama has been just boring football to watch. Up the middle.
Yeah. They were just the quarterbacks were just game managers.
Right.
They weren't allowed to really excel and push the ball down the field. But so it was boring to watch. It was fun to win. You wanted to win, but it was kind of like, okay, here we go.
You watched the whole game for 5 breakout running back runs, and that's about it.
Yeah. So anyway,
but now we have the mighty Hawaiian.
Yep.
So what about I can't remember his name right now, but the guy that loves dogs so much that he will put in the fighting ring.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick. Again, I never liked Michael Vick as a football player. I
kind of liked old Vic. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't like him. He's not my type of quarterback. He's not a traditional quarterback.
Gosh,
And
he was
you know, being a running back, if you want to run around, to me, a quarterback, you know, is to throw the ball, control the game, manage the game, keep the game under control. And again, I like Tim Tebow, and I agree with BK. If your stats are correct, I'm not going to double check them. I trust you.
Yeah, you should. I mean,
I believe you. I trust you. And again, I can't believe that the Broncos got rid of him, and I can't believe Jacksonville didn't pick him up.
that was the biggest issue.
If Jacksonville would have picked him up, whether he ever played or not, they would have.
Oh my word! He would have had all of Florida.
Well, he would have sold out every game, and
that's
from
what I'm saying.
from a general manager standpoint, that has to be one of the biggest bonehead decisions I've ever heard of. From a business decision, why don't you pay to get him there to be on the team, and you sell out every ticket that every home game Jacksonville has. You know, that was just a total. I couldn't believe when they didn't pick him up. I just couldn't understand why. I don't understand that decision. I think that has to be one of the worst decisions in NFL football. Is from a GM standpoint. How did you not pull Tim Tebow, the god of Florida, basically? If you lived in Florida, you were a Tim Tebow fan, man, and you were going to do everything you could Tebow. You know, so they would have sold out so many games. They would have sold out so much merchandise. That would, I mean, even if he never played a down, man.
Well, look what he did at the Jets. He had a fan base of the Jets, which is hard to do. Yeah. He had a fan base of Broncos. Everywhere he's been, he's had a fan base, like you said. So that's why I really thought, you know, they got a new owner now, but the old owner, Wayne Weaver, I used to know him. And, you know, had he been there, I would have been like, okay, you got to get Tebow. Because
Are you talking about Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Their new owner is so cool.
You know, I've never met him personally, so I can't say anything. So do you know?
I met him one time and I watched a documentary on him. And after I met him, and he's legit.
Okay. I know he's
he tailgates with the fans before the games and stuff like that. Like, he's just a fun owner. Like, he does a lot of good for Jacksonville and a lot of good for the Jaguars.
Good. That's cool. Yeah. But again, why are you not picking the most obvious person that will bring?
Oh, I agree. I mean, that was absolutely mind-boggling. But again, I think there's a lot of politics involved with it.
Yeah.
There's always politics involved, but that one decision right there should have not been. I mean, everybody should be on the same side on that one.
Yeah. And even if you used him for every, you know, one down, every drive or something, he brought, you know, he can throw and he can run it, he can jump and throw it, he can flip. I mean, he can do it all. Why not get him to do it and throw the defense off, even if it's, you know, one play every down, one play drive. So
every series, yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, he would have played. No matter where he would have gone, he was going to play somewhere somehow. You know, he's too good of an athlete not to. You know, you find him a wildcat play, or you find that him doing something somewhere. There's just no way you leave him out of in that. And so it would have been.
And
a win.
That was kind of the thing, BK. That's what they did to him.
Yeah,
he was just good for one or two plays, and the defenses knew, like, hey, when Tebow comes in, he's going to do this. So they were ready for him. You know, they never let him breathe.
Yeah,
like a good runner.
If you're just turning in, you're watching.
We're in the football discussion due to Sirius Sideways Market.
It's just trading on the Sideways Market here. Just by the way, I've taken 3 trades and got all 3 points.
That zone's been a good spot to take a trade over and over.
I know. This is the zone right here.
I almost actually had put a trade in right there at 97.50. But
did you? Okay.
I almost did on this candle here, just because it was going to break through all that and bounce. Kind of one of Mitchell's trades there. You know,
I was at 97.75 thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it because we're not allowed to count those, and those are my winners.
We can count them. I don't know why you said we can't count them. We can count them.
No, they're really not. They're not appropriate. How do we teach that? That's just like a visual price action thing.
Yeah, it's all price action, yeah. And I think you'll become good at that the more you watch the other part of the. Once you get to learn the market and how it moves and the personality of it, I think you become even better at that. Watching price action and taking those trades.
Those are the only ones that tempt me. Like, I feel like I'm pretty good at just staying steadfast, but when I see one of those present, I'm like, gosh, I just have to do it.
Yeah.
If everything lines up.
Yeah. It's very tempting today with this price action right now to do something like that too.
Like, I feel like you could do like a 3,075 right here, or just a 1 even. I think it'll bounce there.
I think it'll push through this time. I think, but I don't know. It depends. Because I actually like the look of that 1015 candle.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the look of that out of that zone there that we have drawn. I like the look.
Right.
I just like to see if volume pick up here on this next candle. I think we're going to push through this thing finally, because eventually we're going to push outside this 10 o'clock area. That's what I've got marked on my chart is the high and low of the 10 o'clock, and I think we're going to eventually push out of that and go in the direction we want to go. But there's got to be some catalyst or some strength for the boys to finally wake up and push. So we just have to keep conversation going, unfortunately, until something happens.
Volume's picking up like crazy. I know. I mean, it's not like shooting up thousands, but it's jumping hundreds at a faster rate than the last candle was formed.
Good.
So we have a. Well, what did we do? Like at 2.5 minutes, so we looked at the candle.
Yeah, I always look. What I do is I use the halfway mark to kind of give you an indicator, a soft indicator to see if it's going to be about the same in volume, if it's going to be increase or decreasing in volume. So here I'm looking at the 2 halfway mark here, and it's going to be about the same, slightly a little less increase in the candle there. If it keeps going, what the heck is that? Are you serious right now? I was in the middle of the best explanation I could ever get.
You were not delivering any kind of address, so it was all good.
State of the Union. State of the Candle. Here's the State of the Candle address.
It was a light discussion on volume.
That's funny. Oh man. So anyway. Oh man, we gotta keep it light and keep it entertaining anyway.
Yeah. I just keep thinking about Soto riding around on his bike with a little glass bottle in the.
Okay, here we go. Take a glass bottle.
And then pull it up, so we're sorry guys, I don't use plastic.
I don't. That's...
His little carrying pouch, he's got a little shot glass in there. He takes the water.
I just don't know how deep this sickness went. Like, did you have no plastic?
I did not have any plastic in my house. That would be correct.
Crazy.
And it wasn't because of environmental purposes, was it, Soto?
Do what?
So it wasn't because of environmental purposes, was it?
Oh, no.
I didn't think so. Some people probably think, oh, he's so environmental friendly.
Yeah, like, who are these two jerks making fun of him? But
Trying to save the planet.
Yeah, right.
Did you think you had an allergy?
No. It just I didn't like the feel of plastic.
Oh, yeah.
I
was a big struggle for me too.
For real.
Oh, you could say the truth, man. What it was. It wasn't because of that either.
What? It's just like germs from plastic. What other reason can it be? What, am I missing something?
No, that's all right. If that was the reason, okay.
Well, what do you think the reason is? Now I'm looking.
I think you had champagne taste, brother.
No, guys. Listen, I am I'm one of the guys, you know. You know what I love though? My best friend Steven was so mindful that when I went to his house, his wife was gonna give me a glass of water in a plastic cup. And he literally jumped into the kitchen and said, "Whoa, no, soda only drinks out of glass." And
oh my gosh, this is public like that?
Oh yeah, people know. I used to feel like that, not anymore. Now I'm like drinking out
this afternoon and write up some apology notes.
But no, dude,
You need to apologize for all those people that you did that to.
I would have been super polite about it, but it would have been uncomfortable, right? Like,
very uncomfortable.
So I would have totally taken it. Just I would have never drank out of it, right? So, like, oh, thank you. Now I have to hold this drink and pretend I'm drinking it, which I'm not. But no.
Did you just in college? Did you just carry around a glass cup with you everywhere?
No, I didn't.
You went to a party and they were like, hand you a Solo cup.
He didn't drink out of the red Solos, man.
No. Listen, remember what we said. A one-time use, brand new cup, it's okay. One time and done. So it's the reusable ones. It's the people. I can't understand people that go to a football game and they stay after the game to collect the cups left over from other people, and then they go wash them at home. I just can't reuse plastic. No. Brand new cup of plastic, it's okay. Reusable, no way.
That's great. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah.
Sad thing is, if I were to be like, hey, tell my wife, like, hey, soda doesn't drink out of plastic, she'd be like, I love that. I agree. I think he's right.
Thank you.
I have to keep that to myself.
Yeah.
Might want to.
But it's secretly making my day.
I need to see how much the spoons are worth. Big Kid, you remember the spoon that I bought to go camping?
Yeah, the $75 spoon or whatever it is.
Yeah, I need to see how much they are now. Hold on, let me look.
One of those Kershaw spoons?
They're a super light spoon for camping.
Has the weight of a spoon ever been an issue?
That's the golden question right there.
The standard weight of a spoon
Listen. This great spoon. It works great. It does a lot of things. Great spoon. I'm looking to see when they have.
Before I bought a $75 spoon.
I think I'm probably the only one in the history that ever bought one, so they may not.
Yeah, I bet the company's out. Wasn't a good business model.
No.
I'm gonna type in high-end spoons.
No, I'll send it to you. I'm trying to look for it. Hey, they got it on sale. It's only $12, by the way.
Wow.
You got a hat.
Big time.
Okay, well, this was like 10 years ago.
And it was just the weight of the spoon that made it special.
Well, it's an ultra-light sport with titanium.
A spork. The ultralight spork. Oh, man.
Did it come in a case or a sheet or something?
It did come in a case, yeah. I'm going to send it to you. I'm sending to you the link right now.
Oh, gosh.
And the reason, this is really the only reason I got it, is because it has my name on it. So no one gets confused on which spoon it is. It's mine.
That's why you use plastic spoons. You keep them in they come in like little sealed up baggies.
You know, I couldn't use plastic spoons, right?
But that is insane. A titanium spoon. I bet my dad just shook his head a lot at you.
Yeah, I don't know how your dad and I.
He thinks I'm a diva. You know, it's always, when I was growing up, son, I'd be like baseball, you know, I'd be like, hey, Dad, I need a new bat. When I was growing up, we didn't even have bats.
We didn't have.
We just had to go cut a branch down. That's what your uncles and I played with.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's like, hey, Dad, I'm going to try to run cross country this year. I need some new shoes. I used to run barefoot. Like, all right, man.
That's funny.
Love it. But yeah, he never liked that I rode dirt bikes growing up. And it was funny because when I would fall or something, people would panic and try to run out there. He'd be like, oh no, he'll get up. He'd be like, I don't like you're doing this, but if you're going to do it now, don't get out there and whine if you fall and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You're bleeding out.
Luckily, I quit before I ever, I broke my ankles and my wrists and stuff like that, but before I got severely injured.
Yeah. I sent you guys the email. Now, this is actually a really cool website. They have some really cool stuff that I highly recommend. One of the things that I love about them is their micro regulator stove. It works really good at high altitudes, like out in Denver, Colorado, for example, for camping. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, check it out.
That thing looks hard to eat with.
Well, you're out there in the woods, you gotta, it's tough out there. You gotta survive, and that's what you got. You gotta use,
You did some pretty good camping back in the day. You were a big camper.
I did. I was actually. Yeah. I did take pride in that. I've done Mount Rainier. I've done some summits up here in North America. Mount Adams, Mount Rainier, and I did some backpacking. I've done a little over 200 miles in the Appalachian Trail. So I do true backpacking. I don't do this like pull up in your car.
Yeah. I have a fraternity brother that walked the trail. Took him a long time.
Oh, really? Okay, he did the whole thing?
He did the whole thing.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, usually I think, it can take anywhere from 3 to 4 to 6 months.
I want to say it took him every bit of that.
Yeah.
He has he started a meal replacement hiking meals and stuff called Green Bay, where you pack, you know what I mean? That's what you pack for. And anyway, I guess that was for his experience, so people thought it was legit. He had to go hike the trail.
Yeah, no, that's cool. There's this girl from Sanford, Jennifer. I have to look her up. She, it's a cool story, man. It's such a cool story. So she graduated from Sanford, never has hiked or camped in her life besides, just a backyard. And she goes into the Appalachian Trail and does the whole thing, by herself. And she does it and breaks does it again eventually multiple times. And it breaks the women's record for the fastest trek of the Appalachian Trail.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's real cool.
Yeah.
I want to do, I've never done any kind of camping or backpack, like anything serious, but I want to do a self-guided Colorado elk. And you pretty much just go out there and walk around in the hundreds of thousands of acres they have. Camp wherever you want to and all. I got to probably do some backyard camping before I go all out.
Yeah. Let me look up her name real quick.
I see your sport. That's funny.
It doesn't look like it would be the easiest to eat with, though.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in this trade here. I'm trailing right now.
Good
You shorted
job.
it?
Yes.
Where'd you get in at?
3 zeros. Yeah, 1.25.
I'm going to short it. If I short it, I'm shorting it at 5.0.
It's about to take me out. Come on. It took me out. Okay. Yeah, I just got 1 point. And,
Okay.
all right.
Are you in it, Mitch?
Nah, let me take my real money out because I don't.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to push through that.
Yeah. I think it'll go one chick up and dive down.
Yeah, that's the Appalachian Trail is pretty hardcore. Man, that's crazy to see what you did. Anybody that can do that, that's great. But yeah, this girl, she came. I was an undergrad. She had already graduated. She came and spoke at Sanford, and she was a tennis player, and she was like, "Yeah, I've never done anything outside, so of course I decided that I didn't want to go to work after graduating, so some time off, and I went to hike the Appalachian Trail, and she never looked back. She just kept doing it. Had a good time."
I had my real money account in, and I was switching to my demo, and I missed out on that trade, but it ended up getting it.
Oh, you got a trade?
No, I did not. That's what I was saying. I was fumbling around with my accounts.
Okay.
I don't have my mouse today. I'm on trackpad.
Oh man, yeah, dude. I don't know how you're doing it, bro. See, I knew that if I traded there, I knew that they were going to come back and break it after I went in. So hopefully we'll move out of this area now.
Yeah, I think we're going to move out of this area.
There we go.
Finally get
There it
in
is.
the direction.
At least I got a point before we moved out, so that was good.
Yeah, that's good.
And so just to let you know, I'm using the 750 candle. That's the candle I was using for my trade. So I was giving myself enough room for error in there.
Gotcha.
Mitchell, do you drink Mountain Dew?
I do not drink any sodas anymore, but yes, I used to mainline Mountain Dew.
Okay, yeah. Big Head, have you had Mountain Dew?
I have had Mountain Dew before, yeah.
Okay, I feel like now you're making fun of my hack. Sorry, I was thinking.
You act like you've never seen it before.
I know. I'm trying to read it for the first time.
You're sounding it out.
So Sound it out, son.
It's all phonics over here.
For those who are watching and you also have a learning disability, hey, we won't make fun of you. Apparently they will, but I won't.
We know that you're 100% fine.
Yeah.
I really have a learning disability with speaking disability, actually. I have a...
Hold you back.
So, but anyways, one of the first times I went camping with now my best friend Steven, at the time a perfectly good stranger that I met in the classroom at Sanford, we went camping to the old good Alabama's Mount Sheehaw. And I just knew this guy for like a couple of days, you know, we're in a class together, that's about it. And since it was a short hike, we decided that, you know, you can bring a lot more food, right? You can bring more stuff when it's just a simple hike. And so I was bringing the food and he brought the drinks. So we get up there, and if you recall, I don't drink out of plastic, and I've never have drank after anybody. And so we get up there, and we're, you know, taking all the stuff out, and it's, you know, night, and he's like, oh man, let's have a drink. So I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. And he opens this, I've never had this before prior to that day, a Mountain Dew, you know, this great bottle of Mountain Dew. He's like, man, I got a Mountain Dew, and I'm like, oh, I've never had that. And he's like, oh my gosh, you've never had it. This is so good. I drink this all the time. So he uncaps the 2-liter bottle and drinks out of the bottle. So I'm like, cool. So I'm like waiting for him to take another bottle out and give it to me. And he's like, hands it over. And I'm like, open and just drink out.
Hey,
and I'm like,
2-liter.
I'm like, whoa. And you met BK, you met Steven, right?
Yeah.
And now he looks more normal, but he used to have like a long beard, long hair. You know, awesome guy. I made fun of him in class before I knew him. I called him Mountain Man and all that. Because he didn't fit the Sanford type. And so he hands this 2-liter drink over to me, and I'm like, dude, I don't drink after people. I like my own family. I've never drank that after anyone. And he's like, well, I only brought one. I'm like, wait a second. I brought all this food. You were responsible for the drinks, and you only brought one 2-liter drink. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, college life, you know? And I'm like, no, I don't know. You should have just told me. But, no, I drank for the first time. I drank Mountain Dew for the first time. I drank after someone for the first time. And I drank out of plastic, which was okay, but it was neat. But yeah,
college was a wild ride for you.
Yeah, buddy. A lot of first times in college for us.
Yeah, man. It was wild, dude. And the funny thing was, so I've only known this guy for like, again, a couple of days, and we're off to summer vacation. And at the time, I had a condo in Birmingham, and I didn't like the condo, but I lived in this condo. And I told him, he lived in Aniana, and I said, hey man, if you ever need to stay, just let me know. You can stay with me, you know, like a night, because he was working at some restaurant. And eventually he texted me. I was already out of town. He texted me and said, hey man, I'll take you up on the offer. And I'm like, oh man, dude, I'm like somewhere else. I'm out of town. But I left, and I never do this, but I randomly left this my keys under some rock. And I said, dude, I left the keys under some rock over here on the left. If you can find it, dude, just help yourself. And after the fact, my family brought up to my attention that I just let this stranger have the condo keys to my condo for like the whole summer. So, which was fine because he didn't do anything. But great guy, by the way, one of my best friends. Good. He's a doctor now up in Michigan. He's married to another doctor who was the first fellow, you know, at University of Alabama. That was so good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There.
Yeah, that is cool.
She opted out, instead of a ring, she got a necklace. You know, the ring and the necklace, I guess. And I was disappointed. I talked to her about it. I told her, look, I was expecting to wear this ring in public. And now I can wear it because it's a necklace instead of a ring. But, ultimately it was her decision. And
I'm glad you see it that way.
I was so disappointed. I was like, why? But that's good. That's, because she can actually wear that necklace, right? It was the ring, you never really wear it.
I imagine that gives her a lot of kind of. Does she talk about that much in her new job? I imagine that gets her a lot of brownie points, doesn't it, for being in national championships?
I think it's funny because she gets invited all the time to go play golf with the president of the hospital, which is where they are. It's a satellite office. The main hospital, I think, is out of Wisconsin or something. And so she gets invited to go play with the golf with the big boys, And her husband, who also works there, my best friend Steven, doesn't get invited, which is fine. And so I'm like, Steven, you need to kick it up a notch, bro. And he's like, well, I don't play golf. I don't know anything about sports. So I think they just like her better. I'm like, yeah, I think so too. But she's cool. Like, she makes him go to a baseball game. She's a big Tigers fan, right? Detroit Tigers. So they go to the games, and he was talking to me the other day. He was like, dude, it was devastating. I had to watch this baseball game, the whole game. And I'm like, dude, the trick of the baseball game is to only watch 3 or 4 innings and leave. That's what I do. So he's like, I can't do that because she wants to stay for the whole thing. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you, bro. That's devastating. To stay for a whole game of baseball and you don't know anybody on the team? If you knew someone hey, that's my friend BK on the team, I'm going to stay and support him. I don't know anybody on the team at this point. I'm only going in, eating a couple of hot dogs, and then I'm leaving, So.
There you go.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. You like her a lot. She's an athlete. She played. Apparently, I didn't know this. She played softball.
At Alabama?
No. She went to. I don't know what she went to undergrad. No, it's an undergrad. I don't know what she went to somewhere up north for undergrad. But no, she was on the row team. She did rowing, and I know she played softball. So.
And that's funny, Steven doesn't play any kind of sport, does he?
He does not. No, Steven, man, I took him mountain biking at Mount Sheehaw, Oak Mountain State Park in Birmingham. And of course, being a good friend that I am, I took him to the toughest course of the And I'm like, man, you're going to love this course. And it's the most dangerous course in the Southeast. It's literally called Blood Wall. And, people constantly, if you Google it, you will see people constantly die there. And he goes on a bike. And so we got this bike since he didn't have one, we rented him a bike. So it's a really good bike. It's an awesome mountain bike from Cahaba Cycles. And he goes straight up, we're going down the thing, and I'm watching him. And instead of, going with the trail and turning left with the trail, he just keeps going straight. He goes off the edge. Just straight to the edge. I'm like, and he's like, I couldn't stop because he kept pedaling backwards. And I'm like, why are you pedaling backwards? He's like, well, I grew up, my bike, right from pedals. And I'm like, whatever you do, this is a $2,000 bike. It's not going to have brakes in the pedals. So, yeah. He's when he was in during his residency, we went to play tennis, and I'm a good, they kind of call me the Tim Tebow of tennis.
Is that what they do? I've heard you talk about it, but yeah, I mean, so I'm really humble and I don't brag, but when it comes to tennis, I'm kind of a big deal. Oh, okay.
And but so we're I'm a little out of shape all the time, And he doesn't play tennis. And of course, he's like, hey, I got 2 friends in residency, 2 other doctors that want to play tennis with us. So I'm like, oh, are they good? Like, what are we talking about here, you know? He's like, oh, no, I don't think they're any good at all. So I'm like, okay, you know, that'll be fun, you know, that's good, because, you know, you're not good, and I'm out of shape, so that'll be all right. So we get there, and we have, like, Federer out there. They're both like the most athletic people, best tennis players I've ever seen. So I'm like, really, bro? We're gonna go against this guys. And of course, one is from like India, and he's like when you think of an Indian person, you think of like skinny, not so athletic, stereotype. I know.
There you go.
This guy was like the most athletic guy I've ever met in my life. Like, I'm like, there's no way he's a doctor. So
So we took a butt whipping, huh?
We got a little whoop in there. But, it was fun. I love Steve. We always get into good, fun scenarios.
When I met my wife, I was going to be slick. I just got my road bike, and she was running on the greenway. I was going to be like, she'd come up to like a little stop sign and exit on the greenway. And I was going to be slick and just zoom up there and stop real quick right next to her. Except for the fact that I had just converted to clip-in pedals.
Oh, wow.
And I nearly tore my feet off. I was trying to get my feet out of those pedals so hard, and my brain just wouldn't tell me to twist my ankle to the side. And I came to a complete stop, ripped at my feet, and then just did the slowest teeter all the way down to completely on my side, still clipped in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she was like, are you okay?
No, I'm not.
Oh, this is one way to get conversation going.
Yeah, there you go.
That's good.
Well, apparently worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it worked, but it was mortifying in the moment.
That's funny. Yeah, those things are, if people that never use those things, at the very beginning, you will follow. And again, it's when you stop, you forget to unclip before you come to a stop. Because you got to put your ankles to the lateral side, right?
Right. You just twist kick your feet out.
Yeah, and so the funniest thing, and this happens to everyone, and me included, I would come to a complete stop, we're all talking, and I'm going to stop, and I just fall over slow motion to the side.
That's exactly what I did, yeah. That's exactly what I did. Yeah, it was awful.
I was like, I just learned how to ride a bike. So,
Man, you get so much more power when you have the...
Yeah. I don't ride without it.
Yeah, I haven't done it mountain biking yet. I'm not brave enough. I mean, I feel like I would break my legs, but with my road bikes, you can get a lot more power.
Yeah. Well, actually, mountain biking is actually safer than road biking. Mountain biking, you're going to fall. You fall all the time, but it's a big deal. Road bike, you fall, and you're going to end up in the hospital. So
yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah. I don't like, and not to get it because my brother, but I don't like road biking. First, it's the actual workout, so that's not fun. Mountain biking is fun. You got to suck it up to go up the mountain, but man, going downhill, it's awesome, bro. But to me, road bike is like you're constantly working out. Like it's not fun. I don't like it.
A little patch of pine straw could be your worst enemy too.
That's right. Birmingham. I went down. If you know Birmingham, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what Brookwood Hospital is?
Yeah.
31, going up the Vestavia Hills. I went down. I was on the top of Vestavia Hills. I went down 31 to Lakeshore.
On a road bike?
On a road bike, yes. On the side, on the very edge of the road. I was my speed was around 60 miles an hour on that road bike.
You just needed a permanent guardian with you during those years.
The worst thing is I was using a good bike, which was in LA, Specialized LA.
Yeah.
The problem is that it did not have hydraulic disc brakes. It had the regular disc. The regular brakes. Not even any kind of disc brakes.
Yeah, they got.
I couldn't stop. If anything happened, I couldn't stop. And I couldn't just hold them down because they were burnt out. So I had to tap them a little bit to reduce the speed when it came off. When I was coming off the highway. But yeah, it was. That was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. So, and at least on the road.
My dad bought me this motorized scooter when I was about 12. He gets it out of his truck like for my birthday or something. I'm so excited. He's like, "The guy showed me how to ride it, so let me show you real quick." You get this thing cranked, you just jumped on it and like pushed it forward, and it cranked the engine, and it would go. Well, he jumps on it, and it kicks out from underneath him, and he hit our brick mailbox. Full frontal.
Oh, man. Your dad?
Yeah, oh yeah. Kind of got up, shook himself off, was like, "Yeah, I guess I don't know how to ride that thing. Good luck."
Yeah, I can see your dad doing that.
Yeah, man, he trusts us more.
Your dad knows a lot about cars, and I can't be any more opposite. I don't know nothing about cars. But he knows a lot about cars.
He'd bring a car up and be like, "Hey, I just bought this Corvette." So, me being 14, 15 was like, "Dad just bought a Corvette. Awesome." And then he rolls up and the car is in boxes on the back of the trailer, and it looks like it's been hit by multiple 18-wheelers.
Oh, that's funny.
And he'd be like, "Yeah, this is a Corvette right here." Well, I look forward to riding that when I retire. But no, he would fix it up. It'd be awesome. Then I would drive it in the rain.
How long did it take him to do it? To put it together?
It just depended on what his mood was like, if he was bouncing around from multiple things. But I mean, he would probably start to finish on something like that, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years. And then it would be really, really good. And then he would just, it was like he enjoyed more of the putting it together than he did having it. So he would find another one in a barn somewhere. I mean, when I say, like, he would not pay anybody for these things. Well, they would be worth something when he finished it, but at the beginning, I mean, you and I would just drive by it every single day and have no idea what it was. Like, he had one time that was cut in half. Like, he showed up with two halves to a car. I mean, and the body was cut in half. The frame was still rolling and everything was good with the frame, but I mean, you just can't imagine the shape a lot of the stuff would be in. And he'd be like, "Oh man, this is a rare one. There was only 123 of these made, and only 14 in this color." I don't know how you know that. So
That's funny. Yeah. Paul, I don't know if you're still watching, but Paul is actually he's a mechanic. He knows a lot about Corvettes and pretty much any car. But I think he's restored several Corvettes and sold them. He's made some good money.
He used to do that. Him and my uncle, my dad and his brother, they would restore them and sell them. My granddad, he would always want them to keep them. You'd have to meet my granddad. He's a fickle old man. And anyway, so they'd be out there showing a car, and their little lot was in front of my granddad's house. They both had jobs up to this one side. My granddad would be mowing his grass, and they would literally have a customer in the car looking at it, and he would drive by and blow grass all over the car. Keep on going. And they couldn't say anything to him because, I mean, he's just the type of person you just don't. He just demands respect. He's one of those people. So, you just were like, well, that happened. Dad would be like, "I'm sorry, he's just that's how he is." So
I would say about your dad though, he will be, if he likes you, he'll be very patient with you. He was very patient with me and a lot of things. So Obviously I could tell that he was like, "You never done this before?" I'm like, "No, I've never done this in my life." And he's like, "Okay, I'll teach you, but I don't know how you've never done this before." So he's good, and he would rather do it himself than have you help him. Like, I've learned that a lot from him.
It's like his family dynamic. The only time my granddad ever came to our house when I was growing up was when we had trees blow down or something, and he'd show up literally as the sun cracks the horizon with a chainsaw and be like, "What y'all doing burning daylight? We got to cut these trees up." All right, let me get up. So, Dad's a worker. Once he got bit by the flying bug, though, there's no turning back.
Yeah, I heard he likes to fly, doesn't he?
He is borderline obsessed. I mean, loves it. That's his happy place.
Good.
We were trading together, and we were working on night landings, and Dad was just butchering it. I mean, just almost having to go replace the tires to the plane. You know what I mean? Like, butchering. And it was like him and I, after we got finished that evening, and we were sitting around talking, and I was like, "What's the deal, man?" I was like, "You land." He's like, "I'll be honest with you, son. With these glasses I got on, I can't see the ground. I don't know where it is." It's like, well, that's something we need to address.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it just sneaks up on me.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good, man.
No, but he just was so nonchalant about it. Like, it wasn't a big deal. He's going to get it now, which he did. I was like, well, maybe, you just don't wear your bifocals or whatever you got going on when you fly. And whatever he did, it worked. But it was just funny how, to be honest with you, I can't see the ground.
And he just said that straight faced and
didn't laugh. I mean, it was just like, this is something he's been dealing with emotionally for a little bit. Because I couldn't figure it out because I did it like 3 or 4 times, and then I was in a rhythm and I was good, and Dad, it was just like boom. Even the instructor's like, "We probably need to pull over and check wheel pants on that one." And, I knew he was frustrated with it. But then finally he admitted, "I just can't see the ground." Oh, all right.
Wow.
Yeah. He would be halfway annoyed, but he'll get so excited about doing stuff. So you have this little tow bar you pull the plane out with. You put it on the front, you pull it out with the tow bar. And I was up there in the hangar one day doing something, and I heard the most awful racket. Something slammed up against the hangar, and he had hopped in the plane and cranked it with that tow bar still attached.
BK. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. BK, I'm in a trade. I already got a point locked in. I'm trailing. It's actually coming back to probably take me out here.
Traded right there on the 1045 zone.
Yeah, to go short at 3,000.5. I already got my point, and I'm trailing. I got a point locked in. I don't know if I should lock it in. I'm going to, come on. I'm going to close it if it gets. I'm going to move it.
I was looking at like 01.25 or 01 even.
I'm going to go down. If it goes down 1 tick, I'll lock that 1 point in. Come on, down.
Oh, so you haven't gotten your point yet?
No, I already got the point. I'm just locking in a second point. If it goes down 1 tick, I need to go down 1 more tick. I'm not going to lock it in yet. I'm waiting to go down 1 tick. Come on, go down a tick. No, I need to. Come on. No, I wanted to go down a point and a quarter.
So why do you want to lock in the second point for a point? I mean, your second position for a point. Why aren't you going to leave that just at a quarter?
Oh, it is. It's already locked in at the quarter. The tick.
I know, but you want to manually move that one, right?
Right. Just because I don't think it's going to be moving down. Oh. Are you saying don't just leave it like
you do what you want? No, do what you want, man. Yeah, do what you want.
It's just that it hasn't gone down. Unless you think it's going to be going down, but it hasn't gone down past the 99 mark. The last 20 minutes. Yeah, it just took me out. So it's all right.
But you got a point and a quarter out of it anyway, right?
Yeah, I got a point and a quarter.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and update this stuff because I'm done, man. I just won't have any trades today. But from the individual you took early this morning, you did good. I would normally just say 1 point, but it was actually one trade, so we're gonna have to take that one trade. And you locked in, but you made how many points out of that? 3.5, 3.25.
3.25. Yeah.
Good job,
Soto. I'll have to put that in there. So yeah, nice job, man. Good job on the individual there for the individual standpoint. 3.25 points today, so that's good, Soto.
Man.
All right, it's up to 1362 now as an individual. It's a good job. So now as a team, we can count everything.
I did not lose any today.
There you go.
I'm a big goose egg.
Me too. So Soto carried the team today. So you've made how many points now, Soto?
I made trade right here though. So
I've made 5.75 points.
Okay. And you lost 0.
5.75.
Right, and you lost 0.
Oh yeah. Sorry, 0.
Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, so you net. Good job, man. 257 after commission. Good job.
Yeah.
One contract. Good. Oh no, wait, you had 2 contracts. Well, one.
I'm looking to go short at 3,050.
That's where I entered. That's where I went short at.
I may go to 7.5.
But yeah, BK, what I was saying in there, I don't know if you. I see where I guess I know what you're saying is I didn't think it was going to actually trail more. If you look at the last 5 guys, all the way until it wasn't until 10:20. From 10:20 on, it hasn't broken that bottom there. That 99, 98.75. So that's why I didn't feel confident that they were going to go down anymore. So that's why I wanted to lock in, just even an extra point or a couple of ticks. Even though, if you remember earlier, I said, I was going to let it ride. But this is not a riding situation that I was in, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Do you disagree? Should I,
obviously
I didn't lock it in, so I didn't do anything. But had I felt that this was going to be, a riding situation, I would have let it ride. But since I felt like it was just going to bounce off that, 99 mark, I wanted to lock in at least another point. But
sure. No, I got you. Yeah.
No,
I got you.
And just because I was up, I started strong in the day, I was willing to take, which I typically would not, but I was willing to take, some extra trades, just sideways market really, calculated trades, not to say the least, but, still probably higher risk trades that ended up paying off, all 2 other times. So,
sure.
I know you probably don't agree with that, but.
Well, why would I not agree with that?
I don't know, man. I just feel like you never agree with any of the trades I take. No.
You have a complex, man.
Yeah.
You're going to have to shake that Soto. You made 5.75 points.
It's never enough to police a sensei. It's like, you only made 5.75.
Is that what I said?
The only thing we bragged you about today is your phobia of plastic.
Which, by the way, I have overcome. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's definitely overcome that. I know that.
This is interesting here. We got a strong little push here. That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
I know you're done, right, BK?
Well, I'm in this stupid trade I got into. It just got taken out.
Where are you putting trade in?
I put in where I got suckered into this one. So,
where? I don't know. I'm sorry. Where?
I put one in at 301 or 3,075 there to go short.
Okay.
I got suckered into it.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't see how you guys see that. You got volume increasing.
Well, it wasn't. But then I didn't put it in because I looked down and we were only at 4 minutes and it was pop, and I was like, ugh. But
I gotta mark that one up now, unfortunately. So I'm gonna take a hit for the team there.
There we go.
I know it. Here I
I
am.
think it went up to the 31.5, or 3,001.5.
Yeah, 1.75. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know, but I think if we're gonna do anything, just leave it alone. It's not a good.
We're just gonna leave it alone. All right, well that's it. For me anyway. So good job though, Soto. You did good today, man. You did good.
Yeah, but well, it's everything you've taught me, and
Okay.
you get all the credit. Well, you do get the credit. I don't want to take the credit for something you've done. So you're a great teacher, man.
You're the one trading, not me. But I appreciate that though. But yeah, you're the one making the trades.
Yes, I am making legal reasons. I am making my own decision. I don't want to talk into trading.
That's not the reason I said that, but that's good. Glad you said that though.
Yeah, but you have taught me the skills that I've gathered.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
You're so funny. I didn't tell you anything. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, bro.
All right, boys. Well, that's going to be it for me.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, we'll see y'all in the morning, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. See ya.
You've been listening and watching the Titan Futures 1 Point a Day Challenge. Live stream. Remember, we're live daily, 9 to 11, and BK, Soto, and Mitchell are here to help. The Titan Futures 1 Day Point a Day Challenge, where anyone can learn how to day trade the futures market. Till next time.